How you doing? I'm Michael Yavnieli. I am the owner and founding teacher of MY Acting Studios. That's MY Acting Studios with an S. If you want to learn a little bit more about a new acting studio, cool little creative space that we founded up and coming in the last year, have a listen to this conversation. MY Acting Studios, short for Michael Yavnieli Acting Studios, was created basically, okay, in 2020, September of 2020. Don't know if you guys have heard about this, but there was a global pandemic going on at the time. Weird, I know. Yeah, right. Wow. We couldn't go back into a theater. The law said we couldn't do it. But there was, I thought, a need or a want for an outlet, a creative outlet for actors that I knew. And for me, honestly, I was like, I need to get back into this. We need to start talking about acting. We need to create. We need to do art. We need to do these things again. So what did we do? I got a Zoom account. I set up a Zoom meeting and said, hey, we're going to have a class. And I would sit on my balcony in downtown LA from 6 p.m. to 9:30 with my little AirPods in. And we would do scene study. That's what we were doing. And people liked it. They kept coming back. So we ended up doing scene study class virtually for several months. We did 4 or 5 sessions with 20 to 25 actors, just a dedicated group of people. It's like, okay, well, let's get together and let's do some scenes. Let's do some scene work. What do we do? Well, we can't get up on our feet and do, the traditional, like, I can't do the balcony scene with a set, right? But what I can do is I can take the balcony scene with Romeo and Juliet, and what we started doing was like, let's break down and deconstruct how we make choices so that when we get into rooms again, we have a process and a technique. So we really refined the beginning stages of that acting technique that I had aggregated from too many years of study of many different techniques, mostly from Milton Casellas. And then in September 2021, we had the opportunity to go back live and be at the Lounge on Melrose. We have classes once a week, Thursdays 6 to 9:30, but they're a hybrid. So we still have the streaming element. So we do have some students that stream in from other places. We have a student in Illinois. We have a student in Denver right now. We've had students in New York in the past. I've had someone streaming from London and from Monaco at one point. So it's about like just the line on the website that I came up with is it's classic scene study for the modern actor. So deconstructing all the elements that I found over the course of my study of Strasberg and Adler and Aude Hagen and Sandy Meisner and been studying acting one way or another since I was 12 years old. Take that and how do we apply it to the modern world while doing a hybrid with working members that are all over the world as well. And that's how MY Acting Studios came to be, and that's kind of why I started it. What type of classes we offer at the studio? Our bread and butter is scene study, but it's not just a scene study focused class. What I'm going to do is we're going right now, I'm on a kick of going back to fundamentals and talking about process. So we mix in some exercises, some versions of exercises that have been developed by master teachers over the last 150 years of acting technique, from Stanislavski all the way through, to now, which basically it's sprinkled in scene study with these exercises. We do audition classes about once every 6 to 8 weeks. We'll have an audition class focused on, bringing cold readings or self-tapes or both, a hybrid of both, because more and more auditions have stayed online. So people kind of have to know how to do both. We have offered a commercial workshop in the past. We've done a couple of those, going to do another one of those. I've got working on doing voiceover technique class. My concept basically for this would be to make it sort of a conservatory style program. I want it to be sort of a one-stop shop for an actor, so where if you want voiceover training, you can have it. If you want musical theater training, you can have it. You want vocal training, you can have it. That's what we're in the process of trying to do. Now, in terms of what level of actors that, would benefit from the class, I have had actors come in at all stages of a career. I've had actors that have come in with 30 years experience and extensive resumes. I have had actors that have come in at over age 50 that wanted a new career, that have had a successful career in business and now like, I want to try my hand at acting. So basically, what I feel like I can do for you as a teacher is the technique is the technique. That doesn't change, but that can be applied at any point of a career. It can be applied to any point you're at a career, whether you're just starting out and going, what is this? What are my hands? How do I use them? Or you are at a point where you're like doing nuanced and detailed character work so that you can make complete physical transformations. There is a part of the technique that serves us no matter where we are. What are my favorite skills that I like to teach actors? Well, dialects are always fun. I like to teach dialects, and I like to teach detailed character work. I love the idea that an accent and a pair of shoes, there's a character in an accent and a pair of shoes. An entire person can be from an accent and a pair of shoes, because it changes not only the way you walk, but it changes the way that you go through the world. And I don't think you're doing a dialect unless you have a whole character behind it. That being said, the most important thing I think that I do for an actor as a teacher is I like to say to my actors that we're not learning how to act, we're learning how to think like an actor. You're learning how to analyze things like an actor. You're learning how to watch and absorb things like an actor. You're learning how to strategically make choices that are not, it's not necessarily what is the hottest choice. It's what is the best choice for this moment right now for me. It's a whole, it's a multifaceted thought process that needs careful consideration. I always tell people acting is very simple. It's also very hard to do. And what I constantly try to help actors with is the thought process that leads to the streamlining and the simplicity of, I make this choice in this moment. I do all this. Basically, it's like you do all this work, right? You do your preparation, you do your character, what is my physical state? What's the event? What's the story? What I'm trying to tell? How much do I care about it? What's my physical state? Am I drunk? Am I tired? Am I hot? Am I this? What's my moment before and my backstory and my relationship with this, that, my point of view, blah, 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 blah. You do all that work, right? All that work happens before the scene. Now, how do you put that in your back pocket, show up, forget all about it, and just be in the moment and respond and talk to you and take a ride? How do you do that? That's what I'm interested in. If there are actors who want to know how to direct, are my classes helpful? Short answer, yes. Longer answer is yes, because directing, especially directing in theater, is simply knowing how to listen to and talk to actors. That's all it is. Your job as a director in theater, above all else, in my opinion, is to tell a story, right? Now, how do we tell stories? Well, writers tell stories with written words on a page. Directors tell stories through performances, crafted performances from actors that we choose, right? So if I'm going to be a director in the theater or in film or in television, I better damn well know how to talk to an actor. I better have walked not a mile, but 10 miles in an actor's shoes. I better know the things to say to an actor who is having a problem with a moment. I better understand when to be quiet, when to offer help, when to offer a suggestion, when not to offer a suggestion. I have to know all of those things. And the best way to understand that is to understand the process that an actor goes through. Why do I need to teach actors? Why am I passionate about it? And why do I love it? I love actors. I love actors and I love acting and I love the art of it. And I consider it, okay. Milton Katselas, very influential teacher in my life, maybe the most influential teacher other than my family, had a checklist. There's an actor's checklist for Takeoff. You can take a look at it. There's a book called Acting Class, Take a Seat that he wrote. It's available at the Beverly Hills Playhouse, like I said, where I spent a long time as a student. But I use it at MY Acting Studios, and we live by it. There's an actor checklist for Takeoff, and it used to be 20 items long. The 20th item on the actor checklist is study with masters, become a master, pass it on. I feel that every artist and everybody who is a creative person in the world, you have an obligation to share your creativity. Your creativity is what you have to say, right? Your obligation as someone who is able to be creative is to say what you have to say. One of the ways to do that and make sure that that is said and make sure that your viewpoint is heard and make sure that the art that you love that has been good to you over the years is taken care of is to pass that along. It's the most important way, because we have a tendency now in the world to think that nothing old is worth anything. And I disagree. I think that old destructive patterns of thought, yes, do need to be swept away. They absolutely do. There are human defaults that we go back to that should be changed because we have to evolve. That's just the way that it is. But to throw everything from the past away is to condemn yourself to repeat mistakes. And when I was a young actor, I made a lot of mistakes, man. I did a lot of things that I wish I hadn't done. I have a lot of regrets. I have a lot. It's not a. It can be a mentally taxing profession. What I want to be for a young actor as a teacher is someone who understands that, and someone who can offer my own experience, not only as this is a way to do it, but as a this is something you should not do. This is something that you don't need to do. This is something to watch out for and be careful of, and don't do this and watch where you step here. You know what I mean? I had that experience. And if you come into my sphere as a student, I don't want you to have that experience. I want you to have an easier road than I did. So why would I keep that to myself? So why should Southern California actors attend the MY Acting Studios classes? In my opinion, you can get something out of every acting class that you go to. There is almost no such thing as a bad teacher. Okay. Every teacher practically has got something to offer. There's something to offer. The reason to come to MY Acting Studios and to study with me is I have a unique set of experiences and a unique viewpoint to offer to people. I have my own aesthetic, just like you have your own aesthetic, just like you have your own experiences. The reason to come study at MY Acting Studios is because for a time, I think I can offer you something that enriches your point of view. I think I can offer you something that enriches and deepens your experiences. I think I can offer you someone to listen. I think I can offer you someone to suggest some new things. I think I can offer you support. I think I can offer you a challenge. And the most important thing that I think I can offer to a Southern California actor, we have a community at MY Acting Studios. We take care of each other. There's an old concept that I learned. One of the first things I learned when I studied with a teacher named Gloria Gifford when I was a very young actor. She would talk about the concept of support. The root word of the word support is a Latin word portare, that means to carry. So the feeling that you have after you come to an acting class should be that you just got carried down Melrose Avenue in a sedan chair. That's what we do. My job as a teacher is not to break you down. My job as a teacher, I'm doing you a disservice if that's what I do. You as an actor have strengths. Everybody does. And nowhere is it written that your strengths are invalid or that your strengths are not what you need to make it in this business. That's nonsense. My job is to build strength where strength exists and augment and add as a teacher. And that's what I do. 80% of my job as a teacher is telling actors, yeah, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. You got it. You can do it. You can do it. You come to me with a goal, we're going to figure out how to do it. That's what we do. What is my hope for the future of MY Acting Studios? Well, what I hope that we become in the future is a place where people can go work out their actor muscles with a theater company attached. That's what I want to do. I want to do, like I said, my concept is I want to do cool plays with my friends. That's what I want to do. I want to make this the first of many productions that MY Acting Studios does. I want your membership in MY Acting Studios to come with the fact of, oh, I'm going to be in some plays. I'm going to get to do some art. I'm going to get to make some things happen for myself. I'm going to get to dictate the way that the industry sees me. Because that's why to do a play from a commercial standpoint is I'm going to show you how I go. I go like this. From a commercial standpoint. From an artistic standpoint, you do a play for play's sake, obviously. You do a play for the sake, for the love of it. And you study acting for the love of it. So I want to make it, like I said, a one-stop shop, a conservatory, a modern day actor studio, if you will. That's what I hope. We're at www.myactingstudios.com. That's MY Acting Studios with an S. .com. We have scene study classes ongoing with commercial workshops and other things upcoming. Come check us out. It's free to audit. We can do online too. If you're not in Southern California, we can do that too. If you're around. Not only are you zooming in and observing, you work as well. So would love to see you. And I thank you very much for your time. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. I'm Michael Yavnieli. I'm the founding teacher of MY Acting Studios. We are a scene study class, classical scene study, deconstructed for the modern world. We do a hybrid class on Thursday nights. By hybrid, I mean some in person, some on Zoom. So we are open to actors of all skill levels anywhere in the world. We meet 6:30 to 9 on Thursday nights, Pacific time. www.myactingstudios with an S. That's again, www.myactingstudios.com. Thursday nights, 6 to 9:30. We'll see you then. Check us out.